Welcome to the Reclaim the Night Perth podcast, hosted by Sarah, Liz and Ava. Links to resources relating to the topics we discuss are in the description. We hope you enjoy. We've just been through a really exciting period for, if we think about women in Perth for a second, we've just been through a really exciting period for women in Perth of, the holiday season and Christmas and the joy that is. So what are our thoughts on the true meaning of Christmas?
Yeah, women's labour.
Yeah, lots of work for women.
From just anecdotally and like the conversations that happen around this time, or even just after it, the lead up, it's like all this stress, all this pressure and stuff, and it feels like women are doing all this effort, mental, emotional, physical, all of that, and they're not even getting to actually have moments for themselves that are enjoyable. And it's I think it kind of touches on that idea of like women's job is to serve everyone else. It doesn't matter whether she has a good experience or not, because that's not the point. The point is for her to make sure everyone else is having a good time.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yes. So, the perfect Christmas for most people is going to be some poor woman or women wandering around, cooking the food, prepping the food, getting presents, organising presents, maybe sending cards, stressing about the money, stressing about the food, cooking, cleaning the house, setting everything up, making sure everyone has all the things. And then when everyone sits down to relax, they get to do more washing up and clean up, and what a joy that is. What a gift to women.
Whilst also having a big smile on their face, because you can't look like you're stressed.
You're not allowed to nag. Nagging is not permitted.
Yeah. And even if there's a sense of accomplishment over having done all that, that's still not getting to enjoy it the way that the people who had this done for them get to enjoy it.
Yeah. Yeah,
yes.
Definitely.
Yeah. If there's, atmosphere at Christmas that we can call Christmas magic, which is made up of, the foods and the smell of food prep and the presents and the decorations and what have you. Yeah, like almost certainly it was a woman who did all of those things and or made them happen, was the driving force behind them happening, even in the things that she didn't necessarily directly do with her own hands. Those things probably wouldn't have happened without a woman managing it.
And she might have paid the price for doing that as well. She might have got resented for getting everybody to do cleaning and setting things up. And, if she managed to manage the family to go and do things, that will have been seen as something that was potentially done for her. Notwithstanding the unicorn families out there that don't organise like this, hashtag not all families, just women can have been doing this shit for this for months. And then there's the financial pressure of it. We have this expectation that people have this perfect warm fuzzy hallmark moment, and it is 100% set up capitalist spirit trying to get us to buy more and create more. And it's just the pressure. In community housing, you always see that things are worse at Christmas. In all sorts of health services and community services, you see that because the pressure on people as it ramps up is terrible. And it's kind of gone so quickly. And where's the joy?
And there's all that post-holiday guilt. Like even if to everyone else, if everyone else had a great time and they say they had a great time and all that, that doesn't necessarily mean that the woman who did all of it feels like it was great, like, oh, it's not as good as what my mum did when I was growing up, or it's not as good as what my grandmother, blah, 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 blah. Like, there's always that comparison of like the others were better, no matter how hard you work. Yeah.
And you kind of, if you add that in, if you add maternal guilt into that, you really amplify it, because there is that real sense that whatever mothers do, it isn't enough. It wasn't good enough. It wasn't nice enough. It wasn't expansive enough. The present wasn't big. You just get all of these things. And that's in addition to wrangling all the personalities at Christmas, because, you know, not every family is full of happy people who want to sit and talk together. And the job of managing the personalities is often women's as well. You know, the peacemaker and all the wrangling.
And not just at Christmas. I mean, obviously Christmas is the holiday that I'm most familiar with, but I would imagine that this is true of a lot of holidays as well. I can't imagine it would.
I mean, women are exploited across every culture, right?
Yeah, so, of course. So yeah.
True. So I mean, and there's so much work that goes into socializing women into wanting to do it. And, you know, it is nice to sit down with family or sit down with the people you love, whether it's family or not, and have food and stop and rest for a day. But yeah, is that what's happening for most women?
I do wonder how much, because we talked about capitalism in this, and like how much advertising and stuff like that, like the ramp up for the holiday period is, you know, it's no longer, at least for Australia, it's no longer, you know, beginning of December. It's now, you know, end of October, where these decorations start coming out, and that means that women should start thinking about Christmas, and all the ads and stuff like that portray this, you know, or even the movies that come out during this time of year, like just portray this perfect idea of like Christmas means something really important, and it's the Christmas spirit and all that kind of stuff, like really heading.
And you don't want to be the Grinch that doesn't approve of it, or that doesn't want to do all the things. We're not even going to get on to how much I hate Christmas movies, are we? I mean, we could do a whole conversation about Love Actually and the absolute anti-woman bullshit that movie is, but that maybe is not the time. Take a deep breath. But yeah,
it also, you know, kind of depends on your family as well, because my family does not care at all about Christmas, and funnily enough, I'm the one who kind of feels a bit invested in doing something, which is almost worse because it's largely unappreciated.
I mean, everybody benefits, right? Everybody will come and appreciate the food and the festive environment and the delightfully decorated house and all the effort. Yeah, I don't know what's worse, people expecting it or just not appreciating it. It's all pretty
I feel like it's worse when it's those two things in combination, expected and, you know, when the work is invisible and unseen and therefore unappreciated as well. Like, that's a horrible combination of things.
I mean, I wonder what we do to break women out of this. I mean, I guess the first thing is for women to name what's going on and understand it. But, you know, even once women know that they are, in a sense, the drudge for Christmas, what is their meaningful way out? Those expectations don't kind of go away just because women know them and resent them, because a lot of women know them and resent them.
Yeah. Also, what if you're a woman who really likes, you know, making a big deal out of Christmas in theory, but you don't like the drudgery, you don't like the expectation, you don't like not being appreciated? Like, how do you get to, you know, honor the holidays that are important to you in the ways that you want to, but without the bloody servitude?
Noting that a lot of women have obligations, and like a lot of women get sandwiched between generations. So they might be, you know, caring for children, but also caring for the next generation up. So parents and you know, and or grandparents. Like, there's multiple generations that women kind of get stuck with. I mean, and I was thinking about this recently as I was realizing that actually it's about to you know, some more of the Christmas obligations are about to transfer to me. I'm super lucky I did not end up with most of them, but yeah, I'm like, oh, suddenly I'm that age. It's really about to be me.
I think conversations about spreading the workload around and stuff like that does work for families where the expectation exists, the invisible work exists, but like they're open to having the work be spread out and things like that. Like, certainly in my family that has worked, having that conversation. But with a family of all women, you know, it doesn't work when I was a kid in DV, you know, like that's not a conversation that can be had. So even though that I think a lot of articles that are being written these days about the issue always kind of go to the solution of, well, you know, talk about the issue and try and spread the workload. It's like,
and of course
open to it, you know.
But also that requires women to start the conversation and
Yeah.
and have the conversation about what's required. I mean, you know, in a lot of cases, spreading the work is still going to have women project managing it. You know, it's that thing of, if you want me to do something, tell me what to do. You could make a list.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep, that one.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's talk about that one sometime, hey? Because I feel like that never gets old.
Right, because the holiday work is just a sparkly version of every week's work, right?
Yeah, it's mental load with tinsel on.
Mental load with tinsel. I mean, who doesn't love tinsel, Sarah? What kind of Grinch are you, hey?
I have a lot of tinsel in my living
You
room
have a lot
right
more
now.
tinsel than me.
Yeah.
I have zero tinsel. But yeah, it is like just a completely compressed version of that mental and physical load that carries on really the entire year.
I think it's the same thing with those, just talking about that, the same thing with those experiments that some women have done and wrote about them on social media or stuff of like, I abandoned my kitchen for a week or abandoned my laundry for a week to see what would happen and to see whether anyone would pick up after the mounting issue that's right there and what unfolded. I think that's really a good way to highlight the problem. But again, it only works if the other side, whoever the rest of the family are open to.
Whether they're well intentioned and they want to.
Yeah.
And they're not intentionally abusive and manipulative, absolutely. And so many women aren't going to be in a position to say, bugger you, I'm not going to cook, clean, wash, do anything. You know, what do? You've still got children.
The problem with that is that in those situations, women end up losing out as well. You can't just go on strike because, honestly, so many men do not care about filth and squalor. They are unconcerned by it. So going on strike sounds great in theory, but the problem is that you're just going to end up living in squalor. Your children will not be adequately cared for. And, you know, going back to the holiday theme and everything, you're not going to have a Christmas. Or whatever. Like, so
and
it's
have to fix it at the end.
And you have to fix it at the end when you're finally done with it. It's ridiculous. So what then?
Yeah.
Need a revolution.
What then?
I mean, men and kids need to grow up and take on all of the work as well. It isn't a woman's job to cook. Everybody needs to eat. It should be shared. I mean, but yes, you know, everyone knows that it's not an accident that this is happening. I mean, maybe the first thing is to get enough women angry about it and understanding what's going on, and that it's not accidental and it's not just their family, and that it's actually a really common experience that is, sex-based. It is what happens to women because women have been set up as the universal helpmate, mother, caretaker. I mean, because we need that wholesale change, and women have got to, I guess, start seeing all of those things and joining all of those dots. And it can't, family by family isn't enough.
No.
Oh, that wasn't very positive, was it? Yay for Christmas.
No, I mean, I was hoping that we could conclude that talking point with some kind of message of hope. But the good news is that it is January 2024, and we've got all the year to develop this talking point in time for Christmas 2024.
I mean, excellent. What I thought you were going to say is that we've got another good 355 days before we have to face the monster again. That's what I thought you were going to say, because that's also good news.
I mean, it is. It's still too soon.
Yes, it is. I mean, in the interim, we have other holidays through the year. I mean, Christmas, as you said, like Christmas is just it's just one, and it's the Christian, it's the main Christian one, but it's we've got holidays all the way through. I mean, I also think there's something, but there's that thing of the mother who organizes all the presents for all the people in the family, and then who organizes something for her.
Yeah, gift giving. And that's not just a Christmas thing. That is it's like any gift giving thing. It's like the partner's like, well, I don't know what to get you. You weren't clear enough of what to get you, or you gave me a list, but I don't know what to pick on the list. Or,
oh my God. And then the advertising that suggests that really what mum / your girlfriend, your wife would like is
slippers.
I don't know. vacuum cleaner or an iron or something domesticated or something that relates to servitude.
Something that either relates to that servitude, that domestic work, or something that relates to the idea of slacking off from that work, dressing gowns, foot spas, slippers, all of this sort of stuff, which is almost the same, really, isn't it?
I mean, yeah, self-care is not a bath. I mean, that is, you know, self-care would be a life that didn't actually do this to you.
Yeah, that didn't exhaust the crap out of you and make you need to have that foot cream to put on your sore feet.
Yes. I mean, all of those jokes about mothers who drink wine because they're, you know, completely overdone with all of the expectations on them. I mean, yeah, we can yuck it up with that, but it's not funny that we are driving women over the edge consistently. And it's not women's fault that they can't keep up. The expectations are completely unreasonable.
Positive note? No.
Where is the positive note to end on? Where is it?
I mean, I don't know. I wonder sometimes if the younger generations are maybe less horrifyingly bad at this than middle-aged and older generations.
One would hope. I mean, my experience is that being honest about a dislike of a holiday or like the capacity to handle the workload, or just being honest about like, yeah, you're all coming over to my house to eat a lovely meal, and the meal will be good, but don't expect me to clean my house. Don't expect me to tidy anything up. You will come to my house, you'll bring whatever you want to bring, and then we'll sit and eat. But as I said, that's in a family that's receptive to it. I really do hope the generations are having more honest conversations about capability and capacity to organize these things, but who knows?
Yeah, it is hard to know. I mean, also, and while you were saying that, I was just thinking about that. I mean, the cost of this is not nothing. There is such a class edge to this. You know, the image that we've got put up is a sort of an affluent middle class image of Christmas, and that is not at all what is, that's not the average across Australia. And, you know, that additional stress just is adding fire to some kind of tinderbox. You know, we see rates of DV going up, as I understand it, at Christmas, as with all sorts of other events. And that is not a helpful contributor. I mean, it's not the cause of it. A man choosing to be violent is the cause of it, but you know, we don't need more contributing factors. Yeah, no, we didn't find that positive note, Sarah.
No, it just got darker and darker, actually.
Yeah.
I guess that's just how it is.
I guess, positive note, have our audience, all ages, share their experiences and like what's worked for them, what's not worked, what's going on in their lives. Like how do they...
Is it getting better?
Stay sane during the holidays.
Excellent. Yeah, we look forward to hearing from people, from women, how they stay sane, how they negotiate this, how they maneuver through this. Be interesting to see if things are getting better or worse, or, you know, how and why.
You have been listening to the Reclaim the Night Perth podcast. To catch future episodes or see what else we are doing, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or YouTube.